So, the G20 Summit has wrapped up here in Delhi. You know, the same Delhi that magically cleaned up, asked the poor to take a hike, and even made the street dogs disappear. Very dystopian sci-fi of them, really. But, snark aside, let's dive into what's been cooking in this geopolitical pressure cooker. First up, Africa is in the G20. Historic, right? Previously relegated to the periphery of global economic decision-making, the continent's entry signifies a momentous change in the world's financial and political landscape. Why is it such a big deal? First, geopolitical recognition and climate change. Africa's entry into this elite club of economies offers the continent a platform to have its voice heard on crucial matters that range from trade policies to climate change. African nations, after all, are among the most impacted by climate change. Second, economic benefits. African countries can now participate in setting global economic trends, potentially attracting more foreign investment and enabling beneficial trade deals. And finally, representation. Africa's entry corrects an imbalance in the G20 structure, making the group more representative of the world's population. However, Africa's entry into the G20 is not without its challenges. The continent is vastly diverse with varying levels of development, governance standards, and economic stability. Navigating these intricacies will be crucial in presenting a united front at the G20 stage. Now, let's talk about the India-Middle East corridor. Why did Joe Biden call it a real big deal? The announcement of the India-Middle East corridor during the G20 summit got significant attention. The planned corridor would involve India, Saudi Arabia, the United Arab Emirates, Jordan, Israel, and the European Union. There are three speculated angles to this. One, that it aims to improve trade and economic relations by connecting these nations through shipping ports and railway networks. Second, it could act as a counterbalance to China's Belt and Road Initiative. And third, it could help normalize relationships between the Middle East and Israel. The US and the EU have thrown their support behind this. Modi described the corridor as a beacon of cooperation, innovation, and shared progress.
ये पूरे विश्व में कनेक्टिविटी और विकास को सस्टेनेबल दिशा प्रदान करेगा.
And European Commission President Ursula von der Leyen viewed it as not just a transportation link, but a green and digital bridge across continents and civilizations. However, details about the project's financing were not disclosed during the announcement. A working group will be established to lay out more comprehensive plans, including a timeline within the next 60 days. The Delhi Declaration emerged as one of the most significant outcomes of the G20 summit. Until the last minute, there had been speculation that the summit would go without a joint statement this year. After all, the G7 bloc and Russia and China had opposite opinions on what the statement should say on the Russia and Ukraine conflict. But Delhi's diplomatic prowess managed to pull it off, even though it was seen as a watered-down text of the Bali Declaration, which had stronger language on the Ukraine war. This year, however, the language was carefully crafted to avoid blaming Russia while addressing the human suffering and adverse repercussions of the conflict on global food and energy security. Not everyone was entirely happy with the declaration, particularly Ukraine, which was not a part of the G20 countries represented at the summit. Vladimir Galin, the president and the board of the International Ukraine Crisis Fund said that the declaration was nothing to be proud of. Russia and China, meanwhile, saw the statement as a positive outcome, similar to views expressed by the G7 bloc. The G20 was originally envisioned as a forum of international cooperation for economic development. Issues such as the war in Ukraine and Russia have been allowed significant space in recent years due to ramifications for global energy and food security. The conclusion of the Delhi Declaration reaffirms the G20's role as the premier forum for global economic cooperation and acknowledges the recommendations from various G20 working groups and ministerial meetings. So there you have it, a G20 summit that left Delhi problematically sparkling at least for a few days and gave us a lot to think about for the years ahead.
Journalism at News Laundry is powered by the public, because when the public pays, the public is served. Visit newslaundry.com/subscription and pick a payment plan of your choice. Pay to keep news free and independent. Your future, and indeed the future of democracy, depends on it.